I've had an iPhone since 2008.
One more.
A month ago, I decided I should change my passcode. When I tried to unlock my phone, I entered in my old passcode, muscle memory. Even though I knew the right passcode, I entered it in wrong again and again, and then it locked for a minute, and then I waited and I entered it in wrong again. It locked, and then I did it again, and then it locked for 5, 15, an hour, 4 hours, 8 hours. Went to bed. I was like, really gonna get it right this time. Woke up first thing in the morning. What do? I try to unlock my phone. Same old passcode. Boom, iPhone unavailable. There was no warning that like, this is your last chance before all your data gets encrypted. I didn't have a restore or a backup, and I don't use iCloud for photos. My iPhone was just stuck in unavailable mode, even though the alarm would go off in the morning.
Just woke up. Look what woke me up.
I could still hear like, calls incoming. I couldn't bypass the lock screen unless I was okay erasing all my data. But I knew all my data was still in there. My laptop was still able to use my phone sometimes for FaceTime and stuff. Like when I'd get a call on FaceTime, it would ring on my locked phone. I knew there had to be a way to get all my precious photos and memories of the last 4 years of my life back.
Did you get your precious photos?
I got so upset. Apple has that great photo transfer service where I transferred all my photos from my iPhone X to my iPhone 12 to my iPhone 13. Really precious memories. Everything I hadn't posted online was gone forever. 3D scans of vacations and buildings and stuff, and photos and videos of loved ones who aren't here anymore, and really important stuff, like literally my most prized possession. Which sounds stupid because it's like, well, if it was your most prized possession, then you would have backed it up. If you don't have data in 3 places, you don't have data. But what can I say? I got careless. So I called up Apple and, asked if there was anything that I could do. Even if we resurrected Steve Jobs himself, there's nothing that anyone could do.
I wish there was, because I wish I could have got some of those photos back.
And they were like, no, there's nothing you can do. And the lady who I talked to on the phone was nice, but she was like, no, it's impossible. And, this happened to me a few times. I've lost photos of my young children.
It took about 10 minutes of my 2-year-old messing with my phone for me to lose it online.
This lady who worked for Apple had lost irreplaceable photos of her children from ages like 0 to 3 because her children had taken her phone and tried to unlock it too many times. It's wild to me. It feels like a violation to not warn them or have a fail-safe where you can like call Apple or find my iPhone or two-factor authentication or override this encryption lock with biometrics. That should be a thing. She told me to give up. I said, okay, I'm not gonna give up. I call our Apple savior, Lewis Rossman Repair Group.
When they go to apple.com for the support, they are told a lie.
And they said that they couldn't help. They only did data recovery for damaged phones, not locked out phones. But they gave me a Canadian data recovery service that could. I called the Canadian service. I called them twice. They said,
you're not going to find anybody that is going to help you. And they might just rip you off, but I'm telling you, there's no solution for this right now. I know you want to get your data, but believe me, there's nothing that anybody can do. Nobody, even police.
I just know it's in there, and I just want it so bad.
Oh, it is in there, yeah. But there's no solution for it at the moment. Since iOS 12.1 has been pretty much when it goes disabled, we can't get in. Nobody can get in.
even if they could help, it would cost a lot. There'd be a waiting list, and I'd have to get a lawyer involved to prove that that was my data. I asked them how long it would take for them to be able to do that kind of data recovery, and they said they had no idea, maybe 5 years, maybe 10. Then I, was so desperate, I tried a bunch of third-party apps that were all bull. And then I thought I might have some luck trying to do a system update. I was trying anything and everything. Googling, I spent a week straight on this problem. And I got this one thing where it reset the timer when I did this system update. It gave me a lockout for 8 hours. I was like, holy crud, this is it. I'm gonna get back in my data. I entered in the passcode correctly, and then it still didn't work. Then I considered downgrading to an older used iPhone and keeping my current one as a paperweight until people would be able to unlock this, hopefully, potentially in the future, maybe, 5 years down the line. Then I looked up used iPhone prices, and I was like, ooh, I don't really think I can really justify that kind of purchase right at this second for something that's not even a given. If it took them 4, years to get iOS 12, can I really wait for another 4 or 5 years? It was very existential. Should I kiss goodbye to all my memories? Let bygones be bygones and move on with my life? Eventually, I bit the bullet and wiped my phone. It was very emotional for me. It made me feel like I should distance myself from Apple because I just felt really hurt by them. Even though I know that it wasn't some like malevolent action against me, just them pretending like my data doesn't exist anymore when it so clearly does, just because I entered in my passcode wrong a few times, seems wrong. Makes me freaking mad. You know, despite Face ID, despite whatever. The only other time something like this would happen to me from Apple is when my dad, during my senior year of college, had given me his old MacBook Pro, 15-inch, and the screen had like a bar of discoloration on it, and there was a repair program for free for the 13 inches, but not the 15 inches because of a short cable connecting the screen to the innards of the keyboard. And Apple denied that the 15-inch was an issue of manufacturing, but they issued repairs for free for all the 13 inches. And then later they got hit with a lawsuit and they had to admit that they were essentially lying. But yeah, Apple's like, they really got a monopoly. So basically it feels like just a big ploy to sell iCloud data plans, which now, you know, I don't want this to happen again. So what do? I started buying iCloud and storing my photos in iCloud and being a lot more conscious of my data. And, you know, if a photo's good, putting it somewhere else, sifting through my photos more, deleting what's not important, keeping those cloud photos tight, keeping the photos that I want to save for later, sending them to somebody or putting them in Google Drive or whatever. Definitely took an L, no happy ending here. Just wanted to share my experience. Our data is like our lives, who we are, our memories. Just to have those, you know, taken away from you because your muscle memory is used to a different passcode, or because you have a kid who you left your phone around, it sucks. It's really bad. I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
He said it's like trying to put a mirror that you broke into a million tiny pieces back together. Do you want to instead hear?
But what am I supposed to do, Gigi? Them's my memories.
Have you lost photos, videos,
Yes.
or contacts from
Yes.
your smartphone?
Yes.
Drive Savers.
Hi there. Do you guys do data recovery for iPhone 13s?
Yes, we do.
Yes. Cool. I got an iPhone 13 Pro. It's mine, and I changed the passcode.
I'm sorry to say, unfortunately, that's not possible.
What?
So we work with iPhone 13s. We can do like liquid damage, the phone's not working, errors, deletion, pretty much everything else. But unfortunately, if the passcode is locked out where it's disabled or unavailable, it permanently encrypts the data.
So there's nothing nobody can do?
There's nothing anybody can do, unfortunately. There may be hope in the future if you hold on to it. It may get figured out, but at this point in time, the only entity in the world that can do it is the FBI. And they invested millions of dollars, and it took them about a year to figure it out.
Well, oh man. Do you have their number?
The FBI?
Yeah.
No. And the FBI will never do it for somebody. It has to go through court. It has to be, it's a whole process. They only really do it for gathering of evidence on criminals' phones.
That makes sense. Do you have any idea on like how fast the technology kind of catches up with these things? Like if it's like a 2-year thing, or like a 4-year thing, or like a 6-month thing?
Well, it'll be a major breakthrough when it gets figured out. We can work with up to the iPhone 4 right now, and we believe the only company that can even do that. It's been about 10 years probably since there's been any improvement in it. It's essentially like breaking a mirror into 1,000 pieces and then being told to put it back together.